So, what if I told you that every single product you use, from your favorite life saving applications to indispensable tools you rely on every single day, all started as an absolute disaster? And I'm being brutally honest. Now, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try as much as possible to make this stupid simple. So I'm just going to skip all those fluffy Silicon Valley success story jargons. And I'll cut to the chase by walking you through the messy and chaotic process of how great products are actually made. So let's get into the fun stuff. You see, great products always never start with great ideas. I personally would argue that they start with something more primal: iteration. It's easy to romanticize eureka moments, but in reality, most product teams wake up with torrents of noise: angry red flag emails, confusing desperate support tickets, users sliding into DMs telling you something is broken, slow, or actively costing them money. Well, that is where the magic truly begins. It starts with a problem so agonizingly painful that people can't stop talking about it. Think about the legends. Airbnb started with two broke designers who couldn't pay rent. Their pain was existential. Slack was an accidental lifeline born from a spectacular failure of a video game project. And Uber, on the other hand, was born from a freezing night in Paris with no taxis. I could go on forever, but the patterns are undeniable. The story always begins with a pain. Once you spotted the pain, everything changes. At this stage, you're not a builder, you are a detective. You get out of your comfort zone, you interview users, you watch them struggle with the current solution. You don't just listen to their frustrations, you internalize them. You strive to understand the problems better than the users themselves. At this stage, it's not about data charts and spreadsheet. It's more about empathy. Great product teams are not guessing what your needs might be. They are constantly listening to your frustrations. Now that you have identified the pain points and have fully weaponized your problem statement, you're ready to build a solution, right? Now, let's talk about version 1.0. I'm going to be straight with you. Version 1 is always going to be terrible. And that is exactly how it's supposed to be. Your first prototype is not there to impress venture capitalists. It's not winning any design awards. It's there for one reason: to test your core assumptions first. You see that sleek, beautiful application on your phone right now? Probably started as a scribbled napkin sketch or a hideous Google form, or even a broken script patched together with duct tape and desperation at 2 a.m. My point is, every masterpiece begins with an embarrassing experiment. Then comes the gut punch, the reality check. You finally nervously put the messy MVP in front of real humans, and they destroy it. They click on the wrong buttons, they hopelessly get confused by things you thought were obvious, and they break things you thought were unbreakable. It's humbling, it stings your ego, but it is non-negotiable. Some teams take this feedback personally and defend their works, but great teams treat these as a gold mine, because every moment users struggle is a flashing clue on how to make the product better. Now, here is the ultimate validation. If people are still using your crusty, broken, embarrassing MVP, congratulations. It means that you're solving real problems they are desperate to fix. The next phase is called the loop, and this is the engine of the entire tech industry. It is a brutal, repetitive cycle where you ship, learn, and fix. And you do this hundreds of times. You add a feature, nobody touches it. You remove a confusing button, and all of a sudden, everyone loves the simplicity. You shave off 200 milliseconds of load time, and people start telling their friends about it. This relentless loop is where great products are usually made. And then there is the obsession phase. Something beautiful yet maniacal happens at this phase. The team becomes fanatical. They obsess over load time, spacing, micro interaction, how a button feels when it's tapped. These tiny microscopic details might seem invisible to casual observers, but users feel the difference. And that's why some apps feel stressful and others feel like magic. It is not luck, it is craftsmanship. And then one day it simply clicks. Everything begins to come together and it finally makes sense. Users start coming back without you having to beg them to do so. The dreaded retention curve starts to flatten out, or maybe, just maybe, begins to climb again. And that is the moment where a product stops being a project. It then starts as a nice to have and then becomes a habit. And before you know what's happening, it is the thing users cannot live without. There are lots of people who will do absolutely anything except release a minimum viable product. They will rather perfect pitch deck, chase investors, talk to friends and families, but never really publish any draft. Why? Because putting that first messy MVP is ego crushing. If you're sitting on your next big idea right now, stuck in the loop of obsessing over pixel perfect launch, instead of just putting out your first draft out there, here is your permission to just start. And when it gets terrible, because let's be honest, it probably will be, just know that it is completely fine. And you can call that version 1.0. If you resonate with content like this, well, I'm Victor and I'm a product engineer. And on this platform, I create videos about product thinking, software engineering, and design. And if you're serious about building better products and shipping faster, you might just want to stick around. Go ahead and smash the like button and make sure you are subscribed, and I will see you on the next one. Ciao.